Anybody remember Devin McCrae? No! Yeah? Anybody remember him? Hey, how about you guys turn around right now? Everybody turn around. Surprise! Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Devin McCrae, make some noise! Say hi, Devin. Alright, so here's the thing, we haven't rehearsed this at all. Devin, do you want to play guitar on this next song? I think you know it. SOS, you know that one, right? I know. Okay, let's do it. Can I borrow your deck?
I had a sneaking suspicion something was up. Doug, I mean, it did catch me off guard, but I was like, I knew it! I think I said that in the video, too. But it was cool. It was so good to see him. Him and Doug were the backbone of this band originally, and, when he first left, or he announced that he was leaving, it breaks your heart. But he was doing it for good reason, so it's not like, he was leaving because he was on drugs or something. Well, none that we know of. And so, it was great to have him back on stage and to share that stage again and have him and Joe be together. That was even better, too, that they planned it with Joe, kind of saying, like, hey, thanks for taking over, you're doing a great job, and, let's see where this band can go.
I think we specifically did it for this show. I don't know if we specifically did it for the show for a reason, but it just ended up working out that it was actually, I think the show was either on Devin's birthday or the day before or something like that. Anyway, and honestly, the genesis of it was we were talking back in, I don't know, maybe October of the year before. And I was just talking to Devin, I was texting him or whatever. I was like, you and Tatiana, his wife, should, just come down here and totally surprise Brandon, totally surprise Gonz, and just come on stage with us. I said it kind of as a joke, but he's like, dude, that would be really, really cool. And so we just started planning it, The planning part was the hardest part because it was like, okay, how do we sneak Devin into California, which was the big thing, because that meant that he had to go completely silent on social media. He couldn't say anything about, hey, I'm in California, the weather's awesome, or whatever it was, you know what I mean? Like, and that was the hardest part, was trying to keep the secret,
Devin's nearby.
Yeah, exactly. Devin McCrae is nearby. Yeah, so, I mean, basically what happened is we planned it out. We were like, okay, come the weekend of your birthday. I talked to our friend John Safari from OCML. I was like, is there any way that we can set up a show for this weekend? And again, this was back towards the end of, I guess it would be 2015, right? So there was definitely plenty of time between October and June to plan something. So, we planned a show at Diego's, and then that ended up falling through. But then there was another show. I think what ended up happening is another promoter booked a show at that same venue, and then they backed out of the venue, but they had already paid for the rental fee or something like that. So we just basically took it over and put all the bands that we already had out at the Diego show. But anyway, as far as the planning goes, I mean, it was hard. It was hard to try to figure out how are we going to have Devin here. And I had to work too, which was the other thing. But he was crashing at my house while I was at work all day, and it was interesting that day of because he got there. Our friend Javier, who lives with me, which ended up working out really perfectly because he just ended up he was staying with me, so he got in a car with Javier, drove over to the venue, and they literally were just at Denny's for like 2 hours before, which, anybody that knows Devin knows that he loves Denny's. So
he closed him down.
Yeah, exactly. So no, they just hung out at Denny's for like 2 hours, and I ended up texting Javier when when it was getting time for us to get on stage, and it was really funny with Studio One. There's an upstairs area where there's kind of like a game room, like there's a pool table and a whole bunch of other stuff, and that's kind of where literally all of our friends and family were hanging out before the show. So what we were going to try to do was sneak him backstage, which was kind of the problem was it overlooked where you would go in backstage. So I was like, okay, if we sneak Devin in, he's got to be really, really quiet, and we have to just pray that nobody looks over the balcony, because Devin's a very hard person to miss, Gonz would be like, oh my god, that's Devin. So
the clown from Spawn.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is there was 4 or 5 of us that were in on this, which made it a little bit easier because we could kind of Joe was in on it, so I kept telling Joe, I was like, dude, just get everybody to go upstairs and hang out there, and then we'll sneak Devin in.
He didn't have to. I kind of discovered the upstairs, and I was like, oh, we could drink up here.
Yeah, exactly. I saw him walking in through the back, and of course none of the other guys were looking because they weren't expecting Fat Benji Madden to walk in. So he just walked in, and I told everyone to turn around, and I watched the video on a weekly basis, and I still get chills because it's still so funny to see Andrea react when she sees Devin. It's priceless, and it totally paid off, and I'm so glad that it worked out.
All right, let's do it, guys. Woo! Everybody say woo! Just like old times, man. You get the fuck out of the way. You put me on a pedestal so you can move me on. You can light up my world, so leave me in the dark. All the words you spoke in vain, never meant to think. 'Cause I can see who you are. You're the enemy. I'll wait for you. I'll never leave your side. I wish you could be. That would be like go crazy until the
It's Sneaky! Sneaky! How the fuck did he sneak back to the fucking security guards?
They thought he was Fat Benji Madden.